What's going on, guys? Jay from Jay's Trains here, and welcome to today's episode. Hope you guys all had a very Merry Christmas, and also Happy New Year to you guys too. At the moment I'm recording this video, it's between Christmas and New Year's, so I actually wasn't planning on making a video between this time, but I had actually seen on a couple of different YouTube channels, both HO and OGauge, of some people doing a video on this topic, so I figured it would be interesting to do for my channel. And basically what it is going through locomotive purchases from January all the way through December, and choosing your favorite collection edition from this year. So after going through everything I've gotten this year, I ended up getting a total of 10 locomotives, 1 MTH, and all the rest were Lionel Legacy. So I kind of figured it was a little difficult to try and choose between all the diesels and steam locomotives, because the two kind of can't really compare in a way. So after counting the diesels and steam locomotives, I found out that it was 50-50. I got 5 diesels and 5 steam locomotives from this year. So I figured I would just choose my favorite from each one, and that would make it a little bit easier. So hope you guys enjoy, and maybe if you guys want to do a similar video, I would really look forward to seeing it from what you guys have added to your collection this year. What was your favorite locomotive? So with that being said, let's get started. So first up on the list is this MTH Rail King Long Island Railroad RS1. It's actually the only MTH engine that I've gotten in 2021. And it's a very nicely detailed engine, even though the colors are not exactly right on it. It still goes well with my Long Island Railroad passenger cars that are from Lionel. But it also has really nice sounds. It is a Pro Sound 3.0 engine. And it also has station sound announcements going out to Montauk, which is pretty cool as well. So overall, it's a very nice engine. Next up is this set of Lionel Legacy Rio Grande F7s. It is the AA set as well as the Super Bass B unit that I actually got about a month after I got the AA set. But these engines are absolutely beautiful. When I first saw these in the catalog, the paint scheme on these Rio Grande ones is what really stood out to me. And paired with the Super Bass B unit, the sounds are absolutely amazing on them. Video didn't really do it justice, in my opinion. It just adds such a nice sound having that Super Bass B unit added into the set. So overall, I was very happy to finally get these as well. They weren't easy to find. As a matter of fact, these were the last set of AA units I was able to locate earlier this year that were in the Rio Grande scheme. But overall, very nice units that go with a lot of my Rio Grande rolling stock. So next is actually the first Steam purchase that I made of 2021, and it is actually my second Vision Line Challenger I've gotten. It is a Rio Grande 4664 Challenger. And this is actually in a fantasy scheme, because in real life, the Rio Grande didn't paint their Challengers with green boilers. But overall, the green boiler with the white striping on the walkways just makes it look absolutely beautiful. And not to mention all of the Steam features with the steam smoke, whistle smoke, blowdown effects, the steam generator smoke. It's one of the best smoking locomotives I have, for sure, when it comes to steam locomotives. And the whistle on it is absolutely amazing as well. All the sounds are, but the whistle, out of all the steam engines I have, probably is one of my absolute favorite. After that is a Lionel Legacy 484 Northern Type locomotive, and again, it is a Rio Grande scheme. Visually, it's a great looking locomotive as well, with the green boiler jacketing and the white walling around the wheels. And combined with all the great separately applied detailing, the smoke, and the awesome sounds, it's another engine that Lionel did a great job on. Moving back east, railroad-wise, is a Virginian Railway Trainmaster. This is a Lionel Legacy model, and it is actually the first engine that I added to my collection that had the 5 different horns and bells to choose from. All the other sound and smoke features on the engine are great as well, and the black and yellow Virginian paint scheme on the engine just gives it a classic look. Next up is another steam locomotive, and it is from one of my favorite railroads. It is a Lionel Legacy Norfolk & Western 2882 Y3A class locomotive. The cab number on this engine is the 2050, and the reason why I decided to go with this model is because the 2050 actually still survives today in a museum in Illinois. Out of all the steam whistles that have ever existed, the Norfolk & Western Hooter whistle is probably my all-time favorite steam whistle, and Lionel did an absolutely amazing job including that into this locomotive. This model does have 5 different steam whistles to choose from along with the NW Hooter, as well as 5 different bells that are included, and the sounds are phenomenal in the engine, as well as all the separately applied detailing and the smoke features. It's a phenomenal piece. Next up is another Lionel Legacy diesel locomotive, and it is a GP30. This is a Chicago Great Western model of the 201, and what makes this engine different is it's actually a custom run for Mr. Muffin's trains in Indiana. The lights on the front of the engine are actually switched. The strobe light is supposed to be on the nose, while the light that's constantly on is supposed to be in between the number boards on top, but it doesn't really take anything away from running the locomotive. The sounds are great, and the black and red paint scheme on it is pretty sweet. Next is another trio of Lionel Legacy F7s, and again, to go along with the GP30, these are Chicago Great Western engines. Now, these engines actually do have the exact same sound set as the Rio Grande F7s because they were part of the same run, but outwardly, these engines are quite different. They have that really nice looking black and red CGW paint scheme, as well as some other body differences. So outwardly, these engines are able to stand on their own. This next steam locomotive is one that I'd wanted to get for quite some time. It is a Lionel Vision Line Southern Pacific GS6 class locomotive numbered 4460. When I first got this engine, it did have a slight binding issue with the drive wheels, but after a quick send away to Lionel that only took 9 days surprisingly, it came back good as new. All the smoke features on this engine are absolutely just mind-blowing, with the stack smoke, the whistle steam, as well as the cylinder effects. It is the heaviest smoking steam locomotive in my collection by far. The sounds on this engine are equally as great as well, with the 5 different steam and air horns to choose from, the 5 different bells, all the other separately applied detailing on the engine as well. It's a beautiful locomotive that Lionel did a great job on. And last but certainly not least is a Lionel Legacy 6446 Pennsylvania Railroad duplex. I ended up going with the calendar version because I thought the flying keystone on the front of the engine looked really nice. This is actually the first engine I've gotten as well with the pop-off valve steam effect, so it's a great smoker as well. The only downside to this engine is it actually does have a bit of a derailing issue on 072 curves, but fortunately I have 080 curves set up on my layout as well, so it's able to handle those no problem. With the classic Raymond Loewy design streamlining that this engine is equipped with, it's definitely one of the more unique looking locomotives in my collection. Alright guys, so that's just a quick recap of all the choices from this year's favorite purchase contest. So let's just get right into it. After a lot of consideration, it has taken me some time to choose which is my favorite from each category, but starting off with the diesel category, I'm going to have to go with my favorite purchase of diesel locomotives of 2021 is the Lionel Legacy Rio Grande F7 AVA set. The sounds in it are just amazing. With the super bass unit, it even adds so much more. And just the paint schemes on the engines are wonderful as well. With the yellow, black, and even the silvery chrome kind of look to them, they're just awesome engines. So I have to go with those for the winners of the diesel bracket. Now, in the steam bracket, that was actually a little bit more difficult to choose because I am a really big fan of steam locomotives. So every single one of these steam engines I have that I've gotten this year, I love them all. So this was by no means an easy decision. But if I had to choose one, I am going to have to go with the Vision Line Southern Pacific GS6. Despite its flaws it had out of the box when I first got it, the turnaround time for it to get fixed was so quick, it almost feels like it hasn't even gone out to be serviced. And it's been running great ever since. And the features that kind of push this engine over the edge to be a favorite for this year has to be the steam cylinder effects. You know, I've never gotten a steam locomotive before from Lionel that has had that. And since it, on this model, is reciprocating steam effects from the cylinders, it's a very cool feature that I really hope will make its way into a lot more Lionel steam locomotives in the future. And just all the steam effects on the engine are great as well. All the separately applied detailing, the sounds are great on the engine as well. And all the detailing, like I said, just phenomenal. And despite the, the famous aspect of the Southern Pacific GS locomotives and the daylight scheme, there's just, in my opinion, something kind of classy about this black 4460. With the chrome kind of accents and the white lettering. It's kind of like the engine's wearing a tuxedo, so it has a classy look to it in my opinion. So those are my two choices for favorite purchases from 2021.
Dispatcher, ready to roll. Can I pull? Over. Roger that. Take the green. Over. Roger that. Here we go. Out. Dispatch right here. All clear inbound. Over. Thank you, sir. Approaching now. Out.
Alright guys, so those are my two top choices for this year, and let me tell you, those were some very hard choices to pick between, because I love each and every single one of them. They've all gotten a lot of runtime throughout this year. So choosing the GS6 and those Rio Grande F7s were very difficult choices, but if I absolutely had to choose, those would be the two I would go for. So with that being said, that's basically it for this year. Also, I just wanted to talk about what I included in the video title of this video is 2 leaks of products that are going to be in the next catalog. The first one being, and I will overlay it in this video so you guys can see it if you want to pause the video and read through the leak, but it is a brand new command system that Lionel is coming out with called the Base 3 and the Cab 3 app. So the Base 3 is basically going to be an all-new unit that has built-in Wi-Fi, and you'll be able to run basically everything that Lionel has made on it. Legacy, TMCC, all the different line chief versions, as well as Flyer Chief, which is their S-Scale line. It sounds like it's going to be a very interesting system, and the biggest feature on it is from now on you will be able to program engines with a 4-digit cab number or 3-digit cab number, depending on what the cab number of the engine you purchase is. Which I have to say is going to be very handy, because one problem I have is with just the 2-digit number as it is currently. A lot of times for some engines I've had to make up numbers because the cab combinations are just very similar on some engines, so it does make it difficult when programming engines, especially with some of the ones that I've had to just make up numbers. So that's going to be something that comes in very handy with all future engines. I don't know if it's going to be, if you'll be able to do that with previous legacy or TMCC engines or whatever. It seems to be it's going to be a new feature that will be from now into the future. But regardless, that will be something that I know a lot of people have been talking about for a while, so that's a very welcome new thing that's going to be in the catalog. Another thing is that there doesn't appear to be a new remote with it, and that's where the Cab 3 app comes in store. There very well could be a new remote. I don't know. This this leak here doesn't have a remote in it, although it very well could. But it does mention a remote, so I don't know if it'll match with the legacy remotes that are already out. Perhaps it'll pair with it in some way, or if it's just referring to smart devices with the Cab 3 app as the new remote. I don't know. Certainly it'll talk about all this more in the new catalog, so all the more reason to get a catalog when it comes out January 19th at 9 a.m. or to at least go to Lionel's website to view it there. And then that also goes to the second leak, which is the new feature that is going to be in the Norfolk & Western Vision Line A's. So what it is it's going to be this new feature basically that goes along with the Cab 3 and the Base 3, and it's being able to program the engines into a 4-digit number or 3-digit if if you want. So it's not going to be a new Steam feature or a camera in the cab or some kind of new feature that is visual on the engine, unfortunately, but it's something that's going to be very useful in the long run. So yeah, those are the 2 new leaks. That's all I know about it at the moment anyway, so we'll find out more about it though when the new catalogs come out. So that is basically it for 2021, guys. It's been a fun journey this year, and I do have a lot more planned for 2022. One thing I do have planned is a bit of a video series that I'm going to be working on, possibly throughout the year. I don't know how often I'll be able to upload videos, but it will be a multi-part series. It's going to be very different from what I've done on my channel in the past. It still does have something to do with model railroading, so don't worry, I'm not changing it to another subject or anything like that. But I will give a hint, it is going to be a different scale. I'm still an O-gauge guy though, so most of my videos are still going to be geared to O-gauge trains, but this is actually going to be a little bit of a solution to a problem I've had that I've been trying to figure out. So I'm actually very excited to start on this video project series, and I hope you guys will enjoy it as well. I've already invested a little bit in it, so it's a little bit underway. I haven't started filming for it yet, but that will be coming pretty soon. I'm hoping to have the first part of that done in perhaps middle or end of January. Because other than that, I'm going to just try and keep O-gauge purchases this coming year in terms of locomotives and stuff like that to just keeping it to pre-orders. Because at this point I have a lot of pre-orders coming sometime between April and July of Long Island Railroad and Strasburg Railroad stuff. And then after that, whatever is going to be in the new catalog. Because from what Brian Kunkel from Lionel has said, this is going to be the largest catalog in recent memory, so there is going to be a lot of stuff in it. And so far, as you guys know, I've been excited about the announcement of the Vision Line A's, so I'm already planning on getting 2 of those, so I'm hoping there's not too much else in terms of engines in it that I'm going to want to pre-order. There will be a lot of rolling stock that will go along with the Vision Line A's too. Brian Kunkel has said there's going to be some Vision Line things as well, rolling stock. So I'm thinking that's probably going to mean either some Vision Line water tenders with sounds in them, perhaps some kind of new Vision Line stock cars, maybe lettered NW, maybe even soundbox cars. I don't know, but there's going to be some Vision Line rolling stock, and he also mentioned passenger cars too that will be going along with the A's. So that'll be interesting to see, because Lionel has already done the heavyweight cars, lettered in NW, in the recent past. So perhaps they'll be doing some 21-inch Norfolk and Western cars, just because they're probably going to be doing something to go along with the fantasy scheme 1201 that's going to be a passenger scheme. So that's going to be interesting to see as well. It very well could be some more heavyweights though, because Lionel didn't do an observation car with the heavyweights they've done in the past, and heavyweights would go along with the earlier versions of the A's that they're doing. So no matter what though, it's going to be interesting to see, but it already sounds like I'm going to have a lot of NW stuff pre-ordered. So I'm hoping there's not too much more stuff that I'm going to want to pre-order as well, because my bank account is going to hate me. But it's going to be a very interesting catalog nonetheless, and it's also going to be interesting to see what they're going to have in the new catalog that's actually going to be former MTH Premier or Rail King tooling, because there is going to be some of that stuff in there as well. So January 19th is going to be a very interesting day, and I'll be making a video of that when the new catalog comes out as well, and talking about some pre-orders probably after a little while of flipping through it and checking it out. So that being said, yeah, I guess that's the end of this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to all the new subscribers who have subscribed to this channel over the year. Thank you guys so much. It really means a lot. And if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button and also liking and commenting the video. So with that being said, This is Jay from Jay's Trains, signing out for 2021. Happy New Year, guys. I will see you next year.